Thank you so much to EA for giving me early access to this pack. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. You guys, today we are diving into the Sims 4 Business and Hobbies Expansion Pack. I'm so excited to share everything with you guys today. Over the years, The Sims 4 has brought us 15 expansion packs, each introducing new gameplay mechanics, worlds, and ways to play. Some expansion packs have been absolute game changers like seasons, while others have sparked some mixed reactions. But this time around, I feel like the Business and Hobbies is tackling two major features players have been wanting for literal years, which is more ways to run your businesses and monetize a lot of hobbies, which is huge when it comes to gameplay. And I'll get into it, but there is literally an endless amount of ways that you can do this. This expansion pack allows your Sims to turn nearly any hobby into a profitable business. Whether your Sims love painting, tattooing, baking, or even making pottery now, they can monetize their passions in a way that kind of fits their lifestyle. There's a new world, there's a new business system, hobby meetups, and even a brand new tattooing skill that also includes a color wheel. I'm so excited to talk about this. If you guys are planning to grab the pack yourself, it would mean the world to me if you guys would use my creator code Simspirationyt at checkout on the EA app or thesims.com when purchasing this expansion pack. I get a 5% commission. It just kind of helps me out as a creator. Unfortunately, it is not a discount code, but if you're going to get the pack anyway, it's just a free way to help me out. Or if you have another favorite creator, there's a very, very big chance they have their own code as well. So make sure to maybe go check them out if you want to help support them. Now, with that all out of the way, let's get right into the game. Okay, let's move on to the brand new world named Nordhaven. Now, Nordhaven is a Swedish-inspired world with 2 distinct neighborhoods and 12 lots total. It's actually kind of on par with recent expansion packs that we've had, so having 13, 12, so it's kind of roughly the same. I do think they could have fit more lots in the world because it seems like there is just a lot of open space. There's only 2 lots over here when there could probably be a little bit more, maybe one back here, or making this one somewhere where you can go, or one over here. When I did my first reactions video, I kind of said the same thing. There are 4 empty lots, which I strongly feel like they could have been filled with something. I like it a little bit better when there are actual buildings around, just because to make it feel less open. You know what I'm saying? It would have been really cool if they added something in these little spots. I feel like it would have made it feel a little bit more livelier. The first neighborhood is Everstad. I hope I'm saying that right. But that is the Uptown Modern District. It once was an industrial hub, so you'll notice a lot of repurposed buildings that have been turned into homes or other small businesses. This district also has a dark alley that adds a bit of questions, but we'll get into that later. And then over here we have Gammelvik. This is kind of more of the historic district with the older architecture with a classic European charm. And I think this one is really, really cool. I think this one looks beautiful. Even from the sky view, this world looks absolutely stunning. On this side, you have a museum, you have a lounge, and you have a townie home and a starter home, obviously with these 2 starter lots as well. But again, like I said, I feel like maybe something could have been over here, maybe something over here. You know what I'm saying? Just the little tad bits. I forgot to mention, over on this side, you have 3 townie homes actually over on this side. And you see this little sign on here that means that they also have a small business, which we will get into. And then we also have this small business venue, which is a brand new lot type. And again, we will get right into that very soon. Even though there's a lot of open space with this world, there is actually some really cool things that you can do around, which includes a train station that lets your Sims travel from different worlds. It makes it feel a little bit more realistic, which I really like. There's also a historical church where your Sims can go and take tours. And of course, you gotta have your tattoo parlor, your coffee shop, pottery, your lounge, which have been also owned by some townies. And what I quickly mentioned before is this fixer-upper kind of lot, and I am so excited. You literally can start a business from the ground up with this like old rundown building. And I think that is so neat. So it kind of feels like a rags to riches for your business. And it has like all the signs. There's just like things everywhere. I absolutely love this. You could turn this into so many cool things. So I really, really, really love this. Something small, but I actually really like is the bike lanes that your Sims can just like freely ride around the world. And it just makes it feel more alive. There's more of a community. And I just love it. I just think it's really cool to see them just like riding their bikes around. I love it. It's so cute. All right, so let's get into what this expansion pack is solely based around. And that is basically monetizing your hobbies. You make the money and girl, you get the bag. You always get the bag. And there is so many different ways. So let's get into it. Now, I want to tell y'all straight up that whether you are a teen, an elder, or a child, yes, a child, you can have your own little business kind of going on, which I think is so cute. So if like your child is making little like crafts or something, they can sell that like to their friends or something. Like how fun is that? Literal boss baby. How cute. You can have your business at home or you can buy a separate lot. So if you want to buy a separate lot to have your business, you can. You can have the brand new lot type, which is a small business venue, and you can make it your business there. And this is really cool because you can set designated certain rooms as like public, for an employee only, or private. So now we can finally have, say, a hair salon downstairs and then you can live upstairs. That is so freaking cool. Unlike apartments, these locked rooms are still visible, just restricted based on assigned permissions. So it's not like for rent when you go into like a condo or something and just their apartment is lit up and everything else is just like blank. You can see the full house. They just can't get in. So it's okay. I think it'd be really fun to do like a little cat cafe or a tattoo garage parlor, just something cool. Like I'm literally so excited. But to start your business, you are going to go over and register a small business. First, you will choose your business name and the description, and then you can choose your logo. Now, there is over, I think, 40, or there's over 40 to choose from, so there's a lot. Basically, whatever you want to do, it's probably there. And this is kind of similar to like the group activities when we had get together. Now you're going to select a business preset. This is kind of like what your business is. So if you want to have like a bar, if you want to have a lounge, a nightclub, a pool, just kind of like what this community lot you are going to be. And then you can choose your business activities. Now these guys will be automatically done for you. So if you choose a gym, it will already have workout and bathe in a shower. Or if you have a nightclub, it will already have dance, listen to music, or drink, you know? So there's already things there for you just in case you don't know what to do. But you can always choose whatever you want instead. And there is literally so much to choose from. Literally anything you want. There's food and drinks, there's art and music, hobbies, fun games, mischief and mayhem, outdoor, social, home activities, and kid activities. So there is, like I said, so many different types of things that you can choose from. I think there's over like 2 billion different ways to choose. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. But I like to bake at mine, and you can see that this will need certain items if you want to do these things at your business. So for me, I would need a refrigerator, I need counters, I need stoves, and I need a cupcake factory that I'd probably need to have this work. And you know what? At the same time, I want people to fight. Like we're baking and fighting. If you want them to wear costumes while they're making stuff, there's literally no limit. You can choose whatever you want. And if you want to do it again, you can also save the preset so you can use it in future. Next up, you have your entrance fees. Now, there is 3 options that you can choose from, which is from literally disabled, hourly, or one-time only. Now, if you have one-time only, customers will be charged a one-time fee upon entering your business, and then hourly, your customers will be charged an hourly fee to be at your business. So if you're like building a pool or something, having a one-time fee would probably make the most sense. And if you did hourly, well, that would be like if you're hosting maybe a lecture or something. It just kind of depends on what you want. I would say probably a one-time fee would be your best thing because I think Sims don't really like to pay for a lot of stuff unless they're super rich. So, and then of course you have your price modifier. So these are pricing adjustments that you can raise, lower prices. I do want to mention though, the one-time fees will also go up over time once your business actually gets more traction. expansion. So when it gets more popular, the price might start to go up because it's more expansive. You can totally just mock up the price to 100%, which would be crazy, but I do want to let you know, if my entrance fees is $23 and I am pushing that baby up to 100%, it will come out to $46. So it kind of depends on what you want to do. I would honestly be careful with this because if it's more expensive, probably less Sims will show up at your lot. Once you're done that, you can choose a targeted audience. So if you are running a cat cafe, maybe you would like Sims that like cats. If you're running a bakery, you want to choose maybe some Sims that enjoy cooking. It kind of depends on what you're going for, or if you want just like rich Sims, they can come by. Then more rich Sims will probably show up. And this is also where the section where you can have only infants and toddlers and children. And then there's an option for the caregiver to stay away. So this is kind of like a cheeky way to have a child daycare. There's not an actual child daycare, but they did kind of make it an option to kind of work around. Now, one cool storytelling feature, especially about this, is that your business is owned by you. So not your entire household, meaning each family member can have their own separate business. So if your child can sell drawings, mom's wants to sell like pottery or something, and dad wants to do like a woodworking shop, they can do it all at the same time. And at the same time, your Sims can still have their own jobs. So you can go to their 9 to 5 and then come back and make money by doing their own business, which I am so excited for. That is so cool to have like little hobbies on the side that can make money. And I think that is so realistic and I'm actually really excited. So if you got that scientist that wants to come home to their candy shop, you can. With that being said though, if your parents get older and they turn into grandparents or however the case may be, your Sims are able to pass down the business to the next generation. Family legacies are going to be so much more rich because of this one thing. It is crazy, like I mentioned before, how seasons is a huge game changer for The Sims because it changes everything. This expansion pack just changed a whole lot of ways to interact with your family, and that's not even the beginning. There's literally so much to cover. This video is gonna be so long, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try and get through as much as I can. I only had 3 days, but I had my first day to actually make the script, and then the second day to record it, and then the third day to get all of the recordings done. So I apologize if I don't get to everything, but I'm gonna try and get through as much as I can. I did a lot of research, so I'm hoping to get through as much as I can for you guys. So stay with your girl. Once you started your business, you do have the option to hire some employees. Now, you don't have to hire people if you don't want to. That's totally fine. The whole point, a lot of this is to run your business, but once it starts getting crazy, a little helping hand might not be so bad. Now, you can hire strangers, friends, or even family. You can't hire anyone that you don't know, but you can hire people that you like just met. Like you can just meet them and be like, hey, you want to work at my shop? And they're like, yeah, definitely. And then they're hired. So like my house literally got broken into and I hired the robber who robbed my house and they became my employee. Literally all in the span of probably less than 10 minutes. How? Like what? And you work for me now. And if you hire your family, can help out, obviously you're gonna be the one who is kind of controlling them. You're still paying for them to help you. So I don't really know how like easy that would be. I would say honestly, don't even like hire them as an employee unless you don't care to pay them. You can manage their salary if you want to pay them high or low. You can also manage the employee tasks so you can tell them what to do while your business is running. So if you tell them to go clean, if you tell them to go bake, if you tell them to just tend a tattoo bench or the kiosk, once they come to work, they will go to where you directed them to go, which is so nice because Sims just like have a bad habit of just not wanting to listen and do the things that you tell them to do. So I'm really happy that if you can just like tell them to go do their job, they'll go do their job. And it can get kind of weird. Like you can tell them to go fight people. You could tell them literally to go do anything. If there's any interaction in the game, the Sims probably or most likely have the option for your employees to do that interaction with other customers. It just helps your business run a lot more smoothly, which I mean, who doesn't want that, you know? Just like dine out and get together, you can always choose and set uniforms. So yes, you can make them wear anything you want, literally anything that's in cast, you can make them wear, which is always amazing. It just popped in my head, but could you guys imagine making a laundromat? You can make money. You can make so much money. I want to do that in real life in the future. Like how, girl, like it just works, you know? It's just easy money. Once you have your business all ready to go, something that is super important now is your renowned star levels. You get higher ratings, better customer reviews, you get better perks. Since I didn't have much time with the pack, I couldn't get mine up all the way. It seemed to be quite a process, but you can get a lot of perks as you progress. And obviously, when your business starts getting more traction, you start attracting more customers, more money, and then your business, of course, gets more successful. So the better your business goes, the higher your star rating will be. Next up, you have reputation. And speaking of perks, they gave us a brand new skill tree. I am so happy they did this. I love skill trees. It's just so much fun to unlock cool things and get rewarded for it. And I just think it's really fun. But it's kind of similar to how ghosts and vampires and spellcasters run. It's kind of the same thing, but for your business. Now, of course, there are 15 perks that come with a skill tree, from small things to more interesting things. Some like a fire starter, so you can accidentally set fire on her lot and then contact the insurance and then basically do insurance fraud. Or you could be on a good side, or other things like employee bonus, so you can give more bonuses to your employees, and then more neutral things like invest in Simo coin. And with this, it's kind of like the get famous with your reputation. Now, you can either be a dreamer, a schemer, or neutral. Now, obviously, you got the schemer with the cute little raccoon on the left side, and then you have the dreamer on the right side, and then you're neutral. So it's kind of like a mix of both. So dreamer is more positive, they're inspiring, they're more ethical towards their employees and people and customers. And then you have the schemer that's more shady, manipulative, and quite frankly, you're doing a lot of insurance fraud. And neutral is just kind of like a mix of both. So kind of in the middle, you don't really do, you're just a neutral party. With that being said, your reputation impacts customer opinions, interactions, and even unlocks a new fear system. Now, once you hit the top, you will receive a bonus trait. Dreamers will get a fear for being judged, while schemers will get a fear of being exposed. And I think this is really fun. Obviously, when you become really big, you're always afraid to get judged. Even doesn't really matter if you're in the light or not. You just don't like getting judged, but especially if there's more eyes on you, that's gonna be a big fear, which I can understand. And if you're a schemer and you're trying not to get caught, but you do because you're so big now and everyone knows exactly what you're doing, now you have the fear of being exposed, which I mean, is cool and bad at the same time, because like as soon as I'm finished all my skill perks, I get like, I don't know, like I get punished for being at the top. Like it kind of sucks, but at the same time, it is more realistic. So I'm kind of neutral about it. I think it's kind of cool. So again, kind of like the get famous where you have a good reputation or a bad reputation. In this case, you're either a dreamer or a schemer. Obviously, like I mentioned before, it impacts your customers' interactions, but it might also impact your family and your friends. So it's kind of interesting to see that if you were like this big time criminal and maybe your significant other is more of a dreamer and they're more of like that good human being, the normal human being that you should be, maybe they might clash a bit. Like I haven't really experimented that much into it because I only had a day with playing the game, but I definitely think that that could be a thing. And that might be something for you to explore yourself. I'm not too sure, but if you run your business and you have a bad reputation, you might not get a whole lot of customers, because why would they want to go to someone who probably commits arson on a regular basis? Let's be real. Something that I am super duper excited for that I want to talk about now is the brand new skills. Now, we have two brand new skills, and that is tattooing and pottery. The first one I'll talk about is tattooing, just because I figured it was probably one of the more excited ones for me personally, just because of all the things that you can do with it, with the customization. But again, I will get into that. And then obviously we have the pottery. Let's dive into the tattooing first. From the first glance, when I first saw tattooing, it already blew my mind away. So them giving us a freaking color wheel, something similar to what we had in Cats and Dogs in Horse Ranch, where you could literally paint on your animals. Now you can literally paint on your Sims. Like, are you kidding me? I really wish one day they do it for like the build mode or for the cast mode when it comes to outfits. I think that would be really, really cool. And obviously Simmers have been asking that for years, and I know we will still be asking for it for years to come. But beside despite all that, tattooing is a level 10 skill for your sim. Now, if your sim has like a sketch pad, they can practice on that first, kind of like before they go into the world. Literally, they can tattoo a sim even if they don't have any skills yet. Like, they can just be like, hey, can I give you a tattoo? And they're like, sure. And obviously, you can read books about tattooing. Obviously, that's one way to get up your skill. And you can also go to classes to learn or get mentored by another sim who has like a higher level than you. Or you could totally be just the self-taught kind of sim where you just do it by yourself. And that's totally okay too. The only downside to that is that it could probably open a lot of doors for some messy outcomes, and you don't want that, but you probably will get some sort of situation happen when it comes to your tattooing. I think that's also why I just never got a tattoo, because I was so scared, and I still am, where I am so afraid that I'm gonna get a tattoo and it's gonna be something that like is on me forever, and then I'm gonna regret it, and then I hear getting them removed is even worse. So it's just like I don't need to deal with that. As you progress though during your tattoo skill, you unlock different tattoos in casts that you can use, and you can also unlock different stencils as well that you can use on other sims. It's really cool when your sim draws on their sketch pad or paints an idea for tattooing, because then you can unlock different types of designs as you progress through. You can start off with tattooing, but it doesn't mean that you can do every single one of them. That is on like the stamps section. So you're gonna unlock them over time, which is something really nice. So it is a longer skill that you can kind of continue, and it won't be as fast because you're trying to unlock everything, which I really appreciate. And obviously the ones that can be locked requires a certain level of skill, so you might not have it unlocked yet because your sim hasn't done it yet. Once you have your tattoo bench, you can sit and tend it. You'll wait for townies to come in, and then they'll ask you if you can do a tattoo for them, or you might be able to offer them like a touch-up or removal or a custom tattoo or a dedicated tattoo. And I think that is really cute, like having like a little dedicated tattoo for someone, like say like your dog or your family member or your cat or your fish or the bird you really loved. Who knows? I think that is so cute, and it's so personal, and I love that for people. Now, the custom tattoo feature is the one that's like cats and dogs. If you have cats and dogs, you might already be familiar with this, but you can choose stamps and stencils and basically create whatever you want. You can literally do anything. Another really interesting thing that they added is actually layering tattoos. For example, if you wanted a tattoo on your arm and you chose like one stamp, and say you were like, oh, I like this other one too, you can't have both. Like before, you couldn't have two tattoos on the same spot, but now you can choose another layer and you can add another tattoo in that exact same spot. So like kind of like a cover up almost, which I think is really neat. And then like you can have a bunch of different layers. I think it's the third or fourth one. You can even add like a custom one over top. So there's a lot of layering that you can do with this. I'm really excited to see the tattoos that people make on the gallery, especially people who are like insane with like making crazy looking animals looking like tigers as cats or whatever, like the wolves as dogs, like insane people who can do stuff like that. I'm really excited to see what kind of tattoos you guys can come up with. Obviously, when your sim first starts out tattooing, they're probably not going to be that great, and you might not get tipped as well as you would probably if you had a higher skill or if they were more satisfied. So if you do really well, you're going to get paid really well, and you might have a better chance of word of mouth, and you might get more customers. But obviously, if you do a bad job, you might get some bad juju from that. You might not get a lot of moolah. You might not get paid at all. Who knows? Maybe they'll storm out. The next skill that I'm going to be talking about is pottery. Now, I know a lot of people have been asking for pottery. Funny enough, I never thought we would ever get pottery. I don't know why. I remember seeing the expansion pack trailer and I was like, oh, pottery, that's interesting. I didn't know that was a thing that people were asking for. So, I mean, hey, if you've been asking for pottery for a long time, then girl, there you go. You got your pottery. Now, let's dive into it. So, pottery is one of the two brand new skills in the game that has a level 10 skill as well for your sims to complete. But if your sim has 1,250 simoleons on hand, you can purchase the pottery wheel in the pottery kiln. I want to say that's like how you pronounce it. Girl, I don't know. I'm just here. And those are the two things that you're gonna need to get started. Now, since you have those, your sims can now craft your ceramics. There are 14 different styles to choose from, and some of them actually can be functional and some of them aren't. So I personally, again, I still haven't had enough time to look through everything. I want to go live soon so we can actually play it together, but I would encourage you to try out, see what kind of functionalities they bring. They do get kind of pricey though. I've noticed So, I mean, I guess once you start selling more, they're gonna be more expensive, you're gonna get more money, and then it's gonna be like chump change, girly. You're gonna be ballin', basically. I tried like the really cute tea set. I really like cute little tea sets, and I think that was really pretty. So I did use that, and I love that because your Sims can actually drink from it. Once your Sims have created their little pottery, beautiful masterpiece, you have the choice to glaze it or not to glaze it. So glazing, I think, is basically you're just giving it like a nice color, like a nice shine. You have like a top coat, if you will, over top. And there are 10 different glazes to choose from. So you have some options there, which I think is really cute if you want certain themes when it comes to your home or your business or anything like that. So once you do that, you're gonna put that into the kiln machine, and it's just gonna kind of fire it up and kind of like mend it to the pot. That's just basically how it's gonna finish everything. And from when I was actually doing pottery, it was taking quite a while. Still, I'm kind of glad that these new skills are just a little harder because it will take more time, and you know, and I think that's really good because I find that a lot of our skills, they're too easy. Girl, they're too easy. A really cool thing that they added to the game is if your Sim is a level 10 in pottery, they can fix broken ceramics. Now, kasugi, I don't know. I really hope a kasugi, I think, is a Japanese art form with broken pottery. So I really like that they added that in the game. I think that was really cool to add. I love like the broken glass look. I love the broken pottery look. I just think it's so like, I don't know, like earthy and cool. I don't know. The design of it is insane. Another thing that we're getting added to the game, which I think is a lot of fun, is candy making. So you can make your Charlie chocolate factory if you want, girl, because now we can actually make candy, and they are massive. In order to actually start making candy, you must have the Kate and Berry's Sweet Treats Fabricator 3000. And I think the name is quite funny. I loved Katy Perry's Sweet Treats. Also, I'm really happy that this candy sweets maker does not take up 60% of the room. Unlike some things. Now, the candy itself is not a skill. So it's just kind of like the cooking skill. It's not like baking or it's not like candy making is a skill itself. It's just a regular cooking thing. Kind of like the pizza maker or the waffle maker, if that makes sense. I kind of wish it was a skill though. Like even if it was like a level 5, something really small. I don't know why. I just think it would be kind of fun. I know I should be happy with what we got, but I think it'd be kind of cool to have it like already, like maybe even just like a small skill, you know, like I'm this insane candy maker. I think that'd be fun. Now there are 22 different types of candy / sweet treats that you can make, and they're all so freaking adorable, but they're big. Like I said before, it's amusing. It's totally The Sims. It makes sense. I mean, if you go to like a carnival or something or like a festival, they're pretty big. So I guess that kind of makes sense. Gotta make sure you muck those prices up, especially for Halloween. But something really weird happened in my game where my Sim had the option to make shocked candy, which can also lead you to your death because, okay, let me back up. So if your Sim has level 5 mischief, they can create shocked candy. Now I thought it was just like maybe something to have like a cool perk and maybe you could, you know, it help with skill leveling or something. No, your Sim is literally like, her eyes are glowing, they're giggling, like they're doing some weird stuff, okay? And you can also summon lightning strikes. Like what? You have the power of literal Zeus. What is happening? So I thought that was really funny. It's kind of amusing that they added something so weird. So even if it doesn't have a skill level, potentially dying from eating candy because you just had like a massive sugar rush, then you suddenly had lightning for fingers. Like what is life? My Sim never died from it, but I heard from the Sims team that you can. So make candy cautiously. Now, speaking of sweet treats and candy, there is an NPC that I think really likes that stuff. You know how I mentioned before in the maps that they were saying that there's this really sketchy, shady, dark alleyway? Well, there is an NPC there named Trashley. It's a totally normal human and definitely not 3 raccoons in a giant trench coat. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you've ever played Animal Crossing and you know Rhett, who basically sells you some botched artwork and he's like, nah, cousin, this is real, you know, like you can tell, duh. Like if you don't know him, he's just like that schemy, shady guy that's like, I have the real deal right here and I can sell it to you for a discount. And this is such a good deal. It's not, he's giving you something completely messed up and it's just very subtle. So Animal Crossing is a lot harder to spot because they use little things here and there to slightly change the artwork. Here, it's a little different. I wouldn't say that it was altered slightly. I mean, like, it was completely vandalized. And the raccoons are like, no, this is the real thing, you know? Now, you'll find Trashley kind of like by the old alley, right by like a trash can. And this is basically like his shop. This is his home base, basically. You can buy different things from him in like different types of mystery boxes. I just find it funny because they all seem like everything is slightly discounted and the descriptions of them are also slightly weird and slightly sketchy. Now, sometimes you'll get like different things like garbage or food or even some build buy items, and that's kind of like what you can get from him. If you don't see him, he'll probably come up to your door, kind of like the mascot in the Sims 3 University, where they're like, come to university, and the mascot, he's kind of like, I found your home. This is how you run a business. Obviously, if you go with it, it's kind of like a mini tutorial, which I guess is good. Like if you first get this and you're like, I have no idea what to do, you know, he can help you out while also probably trying to sell you some shady stuff. I just think it's really fun to have like a weird character. Like whoever thought of this, like Sims team, who can you tell me, please? Like whose idea was this? Because this is amazing. I love the little Trashley character. I think he's so cute, a little sketchy, a little shady. And that's something to look forward to when you're, you know, moving around and wandering around this big world. You know, there is little things here and there that just make it a little bit smaller, a little bit more tight-knit, because you know there's a shady dude walking around, or shady dudes walking around. Now, I actually think that this is a perfect lead into the next topic I want to talk about, and this is hobby meetups. Now, these are kind of like the events that happen around the world, like, you know, like they have like the Hijink Festival or the like roundabout meetup for like the ghosts and stuff like that, where they can sit around and talk about their problems. It's stuff like that. So there's like 7 that happen around. It's like twice per day, I think. And it's just little things that pop up here and there that your Sims can do to build skills. So there's like cooking, there's like gym type things where your Sims will just randomly start doing like, you know, like punching bags in the middle of a park. I think is really fun because down by my work, there's like people who do yoga in the morning. When it was warmer, there's like a huge group of like older people who were doing yoga, and I was like, oh my God, I loved it. And again, back to, it just helps the world feel a little bit more alive. I always like when things happen like that. I was a little nervous, obviously, when I first saw the trailer, because I was like, wow, that's a lot of open space. But I'm actually happy to see that there is a lot of things to do. And since you have businesses, more Sims are going to probably be coming to your lots. So it's going to feel like there's a lot happening, even though things are spread out a little bit more, which kind of brought me some comfort when I was playing. Obviously, again, I wasn't playing for a long time, but I had a lot of fun. Now let's go into something that's also new around town, and that is collections. Now there are 2 different types of collections that are in this town, and I thought this is really cool. This is something completely new. So one of them is Trashley's certified art. Now, obviously, y'all know who I was telling about earlier, the shady raccoon. He has his own collection, and basically those are all the tampered artworks and all the things that he has. So there's 16 pieces of art. Now, his certified art is not always the original. Somehow it's always going to be tampered with, and it's just going to be replaced with a bunch of raccoon heads. You retain them from buying like those boxes, like I mentioned before, like those mystery boxes. Obviously, it won't happen all the time because you don't know what you're getting. It is a mystery box after all, so you might get trash or you might get some raccoon art. Who knows what you're gonna get, but it is kind of like a roll of the dice. Now, the Nordhaven, I want to say Haven, like Nordhaven. Nordhaven bike parts, there is 28 to find. You can fish them out throughout the canals of the world. Now, I noticed that fishing in one spot for a long period of time isn't going to cut it. Like, you're not going to find all of them. So I think that's what the game obviously wants you to do. You want to go around the world and just start fishing for all the parts. And eventually you should be able to get all of them. I think there's like 4 total spots in the world that you can fish. And then it has like a little storyline with every single part that you get. Now, obviously, again, I did not finish this. I did not have enough time, but I mean, hey, that's kind of good. It doesn't take you, it doesn't take a very fast amount of time to do it. And you kind of follow like the story of this woman. And I think it's, at least from what I've seen so far, it's really cute. I haven't finished the collection, but it is like a full thing. And then I heard that you get like a free voucher for a free bike once you find all of the parts. and you can like hang them up on their wall, and it would be really cool in like a garage or something. So it's a really, really neat. That can be passed down to like generation to generations if you guys have life and death. Like, it's really fun. I really like the little backstory behind things. It just makes it a little bit more richer. And I love that. I love it so much. Now, speaking of passing down from generation to generation, I do want to talk about mentoring and teaching, but one thing that I want to talk about first, because I mentioned the generational thing, is family recipes. We have family recipes now, and like I mentioned briefly, it is a brand new feature. Once you create a family recipe, you can teach a family recipe, you can prepare a family recipe, or you can view a family recipe, and you can pass that down from generation to generation, which is amazing. Like, my friend has arepas from her great abuelita, and I think it is so cute that they can pass that kind of stuff down, because it's just like, it's so rich with history, and I love that we can do that. It's so exciting. I don't think I have like a family recipe in my family, but I mean, it's never too late to start on The Sims. I think that is so fun. If you want to create a family recipe first, you have to beat level 7 in order to make it, and then once you've made it, you can name it, and then you can select a base recipe, which is basically any recipe that your sim can actually do. And then you select like an ingredient, and I'm assuming this is going to be like your secret ingredient. This is like Mr. Krabs' secret ingredient, and it just adds that like little special little sum to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so cute, and you can pass that down. And then that little ingredient will apply a special effect to your sim's meal. And this is also another thing as well. So you will actually have to unlock different types of effects that you can put on your meal. You won't get them right away. Again, it's kind of like the tattoos. Like, in order for your sim to unlock a special tattoo, they have to experience it first. So if your sim wants to make the heartbreak healer, which reduces duration of heartbroken moods, your sim has to go through heartbreak first, and they have to kind of like collect themselves after, like, you know, you gotta rise after that, and then you can make that recipe. So your sim has to go through life experiences to be able to make those type of things. And I think that is such a cool and sweet and smart and cheeky thing to do in the game, because you can actually, it's almost like you pour your heart and soul into it, and then you pass it down to family. So I think it is a really sweet gesture. Now let's head into mentoring. Any sim with a level 5 or higher in a certain skill can now offer mentoring to other sims. Now, obviously, you can go and make a business out of it, or do lectures. You can, you know, monetize your lectures to make some money, or you can kind of just like, you know, be a good person and just kind of teach someone for free. It depends on what you're going for, girl. I won't judge. Kind of depends on how you're feeling that day. I get it. I do want to let you know though, hosting a lecture does not gain any kind of skill for your sim, but attending a lecture is a way to actually gain your skill a little bit faster. And lectures are kind of like, you just go in, you listen to, so kind of like the university where you go in those rabbit holes and you learn a skill. It's kind of like that, but a little bit faster, and you can kind of see it happening in real life. But if you actually make a class and you have people pay to come in, it's kind of like a job. So you have a to-do list on the top left, kind of like when you're at work and you have to complete a whole bunch of things, or on a date. It's the same thing, but for a class. And obviously that will determine whether or not you get a good grade or not. So kind of like a date when you're trying to get gold. You don't want to get bronze, you want to get gold. So when you are teaching a class, you also want to get gold. Now, if you achieve your goal, you will get paid by that rating. So they'll have something nice to say, you'll get paid better, you'll get tipped better. But obviously, if you don't do anything on that to-do list, girl, you ain't gonna get paid well at all. And again, you can kind of do this with any kind of skill. So this pack is literally just monetizing your hobbies, the little side hustles that you want to do, the things that you love to do. If you love drawing and you one day want to turn that into a business, girl, that is what you can do in this game. If you love, I don't know, if you love woodworking, If you love fishing, you can sell your fish for a profit, probably more than what you had before. It depends on what you want to do. The only thing that you just got to make sure is that you have the required items to do it. Now, the only thing that you got to have in mind is just making sure if you are making a class for things that you want to attend a lecture, you got to make sure you have a whiteboard, because that is where like your lectures are going to start, and that's how Sims are going to learn. And then you also need to have the proper items for it. So like if you're hosting a pottery class, you got to make sure that you have the proper pottery benches and like those like the fire up fridge thingies. And if you want to just be like a cool grandma or a cool grandpa and you want to teach your grandkids how to do certain things, you don't have to like make them pay. Like you can just pass down the knowledge to them. And I read it can actually gain some sentiments and some really cute interactions. Again, I did not have time, but I think it's a really cute thing if they did add that. Now, if you want to be on the opposite end and you want to attend the classes, there are two types of classes that you can take. So you can join a writing class or a pottery class. And I'm kind of surprised that there isn't like a tattooing class, considering pottery and tattooing are literally like the two biggest skills in this expansion pack. I think this is just like a great add-on. If you really like university or high school years, it's kind of almost like the same vibe almost. And I definitely want to add like the whiteboards to my old schools that I used to make. I want to maybe make another one. I want to make so much stuff. Like you guys, I want to build so bad. It's so late, but I want to build it so badly. It's just, this expansion pack is making me want to build. Since I'm talking about building, let's actually go into the build buy. Now, the build items in this expansion pack are more obviously like Scandinavian style, a little bit more modern. It kind of reminded me of Snowy Escape in a way with like the warm tone woods, and I am obsessed. Girl, I love the items in this pack. I think they are so beautiful. There are so many lights. Usually it's like there's a lot of chairs, and obviously there is a bunch of chairs. Girl, there are so many like little fairy lights. I think it's so cute. You even have it on a fence. Like you have it on a fence. They just love lights in this expansion pack, and I'm so down for it. I'm also really obsessed with this plant. I'm obsessed with the plants, like all of them. I am very obsessed with this one. I want this in real life. Please, someone send this to me. I don't have a PO box, but please, someone send this to me. And these fireplaces, are you kidding me? Oh my God, I want something like this in real life. And this is honestly the cutest swing set I have ever seen in my life. Are you kidding me? Obviously, we got a bunch of different items that can help with your sim growing their business, like different shelves and lighting, different decals, different signs. All of the sign swatches are the same ones that you can choose from when selecting a business icon, so everything will kind of match cohesively, which is really good. We love consistency in The Sims. It's funny looking at all of these items and seeing that possibly working with a lot of CC creators might have helped the Sims team broaden their ideas when it comes to the build buy items. And what I mean by that is like usually they would have like one item and just like a couple of swatches here and there, and then that's it. But with this pack in particular, something funny that I noticed is that they have the same swatch, right? But they have different versions of that swatch. And this is what I mean. You have this couch, which is, you know, it's just a couch. And then you have some swatches that have a blanket and not a blanket. And then you have these shelves that it's the same one, but 3 of them are slightly different than the other. And even though it's slightly different, it makes a big difference when it comes to customization. It gives us room to create a very unique space for ourselves. Now, on to more of like the build items. We have 7 different wallpapers, 5 new floors, we have 5 new fences, 15 different windows, and 10 doors. That is so much stuff. I can kind of see like you got like your modern side, and then you have your more Scandinavian traditional kind of side. And I'm really happy that there is a good balance between the items. It's not just kind of like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, like maybe like 3 different types of, you know, traditional windows, and then you have 2 modern windows. Like it has a good balance. There's a lot happening in here, and I'm really happy happy. You can tell the Sims team really worked hard with this, and it shows. And I really appreciate the time and effort that they took to do all this. I think they had a lot of fun. All right, we gotta leave the best for last. Now let's go into Cass. Now there are 2 new traits for your Sims, and that is the Idealist and Shady. Now Shady Sims. These Sims excel in exploiting situations and bending rules for personal gain, often without regarding for any conventional ethics or fairness. They thrive in mischievous activities and can influence others to adapt their way of living. So, like a psychopath, basically. So that would obviously be more on the schemer kind of side if you're looking for those reputations. And then we have the Idealist. These Sims hold high moral standards and strive for a better world guided by their values and principles. They are committed to doing what they believe is right, even when it is challenging. A dreamer, not a schemer. They are just kind of like, this is how I'm supposed to do it. This is by the book. I am going to achieve my goal, whether or not. So you know what? It is kind of like me, my sim. Whether the weather is cold, whether the weather is hot, we will be together, whatever the weather, whether we like it or not, is her saying. It's just a dreamer. It is a dreamer. And of course, adding to the traits, we have 2 brand new aspirations. Now, the first one is the Master Mentor. Now, this sim wants to learn from talented mentors, then pass that knowledge on to others. So basically, you have to go through like all of that stuff to become like a mentor yourself. So that one, obviously, you're going to do a little bit more to achieve that, obviously, if you want to become a mentor yourself. And next up, we have the other one, which is the Esteemed Entrepreneur. This sim wants to run a small business full of happy customers, either through business practices rooted in idealistic dreams or tricky hustles based on pragmatic schemes. So this person, obviously, you are starting your business from the ground up and they want to have a successful business. So you don't want to have something crazy. You don't want to do anything crazy scary. So there are 13 new hairstyles for adults. 6 of them are for children. And the whole kind of like vibe around it is just like an employee working. I love the overalls that I have for my sim. I just thought they were really cute, and like the little rag thing that she has, her like little headband thing. I don't know the correct name for it, but it was so cute. I loved it, so I had to put it on her. I like how you have kind of 2 sides of the clothing. Like the one side is kind of like that home kind of style workshop mentor teacher, and then the other one is like, I'm rich. I have like this really nice business, so I need to have like fluffy jackets and cute shoes and all that fun stuff. There are 6 new pairs of shoes. And then kids have 3 new shirts and 4 full body outfits. Toddlers also get 3 new full body outfits as well, and 2 new hats, but no hairs. Infants also have 2 full body outfits, and one of them is from our dear friend Trashley. And I think that is so cute that they kind of get like a little onesie. There's just so many swatches on here, so I don't want to go through all of them so quick, like so slow, because it will take forever. I'm thinking that maybe I'm going to do maybe a live video of me just going through all of the stuff and kind of going one at a time and showing you guys this. As much as I want to go through it one by one, this video will be well over an hour long, and I just don't want to do that to you. I'm sure, you know, I don't want to hear my voice for that long, and I'm sure y'all don't want to hear my voice for that long. So plus your girl, her throat is starting to go anyway. So honestly, I think this is kind of like a good time to wrap up. I don't think I have anything else on my notes. I made a book of notes that I had from the past day, and I really hope that you guys like the video. This pack is absolutely massive, and I guess that will bring me over to my final thoughts. Now, overall, I really like The Sims 4 Business and Hobbies. It brings a lot of depth to the running a business, adds fun new skills, and gives players a lot more control over what they want to play. Now, the ability to turn almost anything into a business, whether it's like tattooing, teaching classes, or running your own little lectures, or just monetizing any kind of hobby that you do, it just makes it super versatile, and I love that businesses can be passed down through generations. I just think that is so cute. Nordhoven is a beautiful world. I love the bike lanes, the train station, and the interactive locations. It makes it feel more alive, especially with a bunch of the set dressing buildings. You can still kind of press on some of them, and that's a lot more than what we've had before in previous packs. It just makes it feel more alive. I do wish there was more lot sizes in fewer empty spaces though. That's the only thing that I would say to that. It would be really nice if there was just more lots. There was more buildings, you know, things like that. Now, the tattooing skill itself is really fantastic, and with the color wheel and the layering, it's just incredible. The pottery is so relaxing. It's such a cute little new hobby, and I know that a lot of players have been wanting it for years, so I really hope that they also love it. And I think it's really cool with the business reputation system, and just like how chaotic Trashley is just like, it's so fun. And I really like that he's just like a little add-on to the expansion pack that I would have never guessed would have been a thing, but I'm so happy that he's there. At $40 US and $50 Canadian, I think this isn't a bad price for it. Obviously expansion packs they're always expensive, girl. Like it's hard to put a price on all these, especially depending on what you like and what, you know, from what you like, from what I like, it might be a little different. And it's kind of hard with the prices with those, but it does offer a lot more gameplay than some past expansion packs. And if you love business, gameplay, hobbies, and generational storytelling, this pack is definitely worth considering. But if you're unsure, it might be a good idea to just kind of wait for it to go on sale, girl, because you know it's going to. Either way, I still think there's a lot of potential here. I can't wait to see what kind of businesses people create. And I just had a lot of fun. It has a lot of depth. It has a lot of changeable mechanics to this game, just like how Seasons is, because Seasons kind of affects your Sims every day to day. This has that potential to have a lot of things happen to your Sims over generations, and like family recipes is just to name one. Like, it's just cool that you can kind of add that in, and monetizing any hobby that you do, like that isn't just like one job that comes with this expansion pack. This is for everything. So that is a major overhaul when it comes to this pack. So if anything, I would highly recommend it if you really want to do that. If businesses aren't really your shtick, you guys, that is totally fine. That is something that you want to do. For me, I think it's really cool if you really love that storytelling aspect. There's a lot of stuff that you can add to that. But you know what? Overall, I still think it's a really cool expansion pack. All of them are. Just a little bit more I wish would have come from the actual world itself. But that is just something a little smaller. And I never want to lie to you guys when it comes to my reviews. That's not my thing. I know some people are usually persuaded with that kind of stuff, and I will tell you, girl, what is up? So for me, I really like it. I would definitely rate this expansion pack probably 7 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I just think it is a really good pack, especially with the different types of things that can change your Sims every day to day. But you guys, your girl's throat is going. I gotta edit this all night. It is the day before you were seeing this. I did not have a whole lot of time, so hope it comes out all right. I hope that you guys like this video. Maybe please consider like, commenting, and subscribing, and joining the Pancake family. I cannot wait to show you guys a brand new video that's going to be coming out. It was supposed to come out earlier, but I lost over a week of editing. My video was almost done and completely went kapooey. So Alex is helping me get that back up, and I'm really excited for you guys to see it. I think you guys will enjoy it a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna go now. I will see you all later. Okay? Bye, guys. Tell me your thoughts down below about this expansion pack. Do you want it? Let me know. Let your girl know.